Hey everybody, so I've heard this terminology woke a lot, and people talking about woke people being uh, a problem in America. And I want to explain to you um, what that means to me, and kind of a little bit about what's happening in this country. So it starts with, and we kind of actually start this way. We start with our conversation saying hello. Um, as you're a child, when you're young, you believe this to be heavenly. You believe that the world is all good. You believe that it is all here for your benefit. You believe that basically everything that is set up by the government, by news stations, that everything in your environment is for your good. um, as you get older, gradually, usually gradually, you start to realize the failures. You start to realize the insecurities. You start to realize that there's a lot in our world that is actually designed to hurt us. Caffeine, alcohol, marijuana, cigarettes, all of these people making money on hurting you, and then making money on fixing you, and then making money even on your death. And as you get older, you kind of wake up gradually to this kind of realization that we're actually not in heaven. We're kind of in hell, where everybody's kind of making money, exploiting what you want and need, whether it's through addictions, whether it's through you need to eat, all of these kinds of things, and they're taking your money. You're working hard for these types of things. So I know a lot of people look at that word as something else, but I just kind of want to explain it to you. As children, there's one thing to learn that gradually. It's a whole nother thing to learn it instantly. When something tragic happens, like a school shooting, typically what happens is you wake up. You realize instantly that you're no longer in heaven. You're no longer in a place that's designed just to help you, just to nurture you, just to bring you pleasure and entertainment, and create a life of fantasy and fun, and that happens. It can happen many ways. The reason that a lot of you are getting woke up is that you're being exposed to things that you never were meant to be exposed to. You have 24-hour news. So when something happens, you sit down and you're watching the news for hours and hours. You're exposed to the internet, where you are not just finding horrible things, but you're being horrible things are being pushed at you. It is a natural consequence of what you did. You deserved it. And when you don't think about a couple of steps ahead, when you're doing something, when you're making a device that you want to be in everybody's home, when you're doing these kinds of things, you have to think not just what are the consequences for me, what's not the good stuff about this. You have to automatically think in a place like this, why would the devil want me to do this? Why would my bad side want me to do this? What's going to happen bad if I do this? What are the unforeseen? Because usually you're guided by, ooh, I could make a lot of money from that, or ooh, I'd have access to all this knowledge, or ooh, this is, I would be able to look up how to change, how to fix my computer without me having to go to school for 8 years. I could just get on YouTube and key it in, and somebody will walk me how to do it. You're looking at all of these goodies, and you're not looking at how it's going to be used against you. And when you make decisions only based on what's good going to come out of it, and you're in this thing of, this is heaven, everything's here for my good, I'm doing this because it's going to be good, you forget to look at how's this going to be used against me. Older people, we know, you kind of wake up gradually. You know that it's also, as good as it is, it's also going to be used against you, and it's also going to have unforeseen bad consequences, and you're going to have to deal with those. They're called side effects. And when the process is really gradual and it happens really slowly, you don't tend to notice it very much. It's kind of like losing your memory. If you lose it really slowly, and then one day you wake up, whoa, what happened to my memory? You know, um, and it's usually too late when it happens really gradually and you get too far. When you are woke up instantly, you get some pretty bizarre bad behaviors, um, but they're quick and not painless, but they're really quick and usually severe. But then you can kind of calm people down. If the first sign or symptom of realizing that you're actually in hell instead of heaven, um, is, some people, and this is happening a lot, some people choose to kill themselves. Some people choose to go out and mass murder. Some people, start drinking, get into drugs, trying to find that heaven, trying to find that place of peace, that feeling of peace. Some people try to change their location. I'm in hell because of this. They'll identify something about themselves or about others or about their environment and say, this is why, and let's change that. Christians tend to realize that they are in the midst of a very evil place, and they put up walls and they build their own little city, and they have a place where everybody agrees to maintain the same rules, the same etiquettes, the same decision making, the same exposures, the same, what you allow into your home, what you allow into that space, what you allow to come around you. Some countries have done this as a country. There are many nations out there that have adopted a more vigilant way of constraining what they bring in, and how they maintain their culture on a regular basis. America has many religions within it that do that, and many people choose one of those religions in order to kind of subsection themselves away from people that are doing that. Although what you've done is you've taken the internet and you've taken the things that are now required to get a job, required to log on to your bank and do these kinds of, you're required to have internet access. You're required to have a phone almost at this point. And you're required to use, debit cards and things like that in order just to do your daily basis. So you're actually incorporating the vehicle of that wokenness into everybody's daily life, no matter what religion you're in order to survive, except for the Amish. And there are groups out there that have identified what you've done and have made that little subsection thing where they're no longer listening to your rules. They're no longer participating in your society almost in any way other than providing you with goods and services that they have become skilled at. So that is definitely something to consider. If you are woke and you realize kind of what's happening in the world, and you realize that your children and your grandchildren are not safe because of that, and there is kind of a rush when you are woken, especially dramatically by a dramatic experience, to hurt yourself, hurt others, uh, taking out people and stuff like that, because you're like, whoops, where are we at? We're in the wrong place. And some people believe that if they die, they won't be in the wrong place anymore. And some people, when they get woke, begin to think that death or not being here is better than surviving in the hell that they believe that this has become, or that this is. And so you're getting a lot of bad behavior. You're getting a lot of, kids kind of get a little bit woken, and as they're starting to move out of the house, they're starting to realize that they're going to have to do this stuff on their own. They're going to have to, and we know as a society that this is kind of the rebellious, we call it the rebellious phase of life. It's actually a woke, it's a woke thing. They're getting woke up that they're going to have to be the provider. They're going to have to be the one doing all the stuff that was being done for them. So there's a certain wokenness, and I think that what they're trying to explain is that there are people that are going through this rebellious, and I'm going to call it a rebellious phase. It's not really a rebellious phase. It's a oh crap, kind of mentality, and there's a little anger involved in it. That, why am I here? I'm mad that I'm here. I'm mad that I'm going to have to go do this. I'm this kind of thing. So there are progressive levels of being woke, and knowing that, as I'm 54 years old, and the thing that I'm getting woke up to is that I'm becoming an old person. It hurts. This is not fun. This is not, it is, you get a headache from wearing glasses. There's the backs of my ears are aching all the time because I have to wear glasses. I have eye strain, but I can't see without them. My muscles don't work the same anymore. My knees are, when I go down steps, they hurt. And the weird thing about it is, as you realize that you're facing this, this part of life, you become too tired and too hurt and too messed up to even do anything about it. When you get woke to the fact that this is not just a dream place. This is not just a place that we go and have fun. And you're younger and you have all that enthusiasm and all that energy and all that ability, and you're woke before you lose the ability to do anything about it, or to, even you do things that you don't necessarily, that are not good, and you do them quickly. And some will tell you, for somebody that has died early, that when they get to an older time period and they get woke to the fact of what they're facing, there will be a lot of people in their older years that, well, at least he didn't have to go through this part. It was a blessing that they left the earth early, that they never felt or knew or experienced some of the scary things that happen along the way. And you'll hear that a lot, that it was, that there was a blessing involved in somebody no longer being here, and their life getting cut short. That's one of those things that, until you actually go through some of those things that you have to go through, you're thinking, well, that's a horrible thing to say. I can't believe that you would say something like that. And in a woke society, or in a non-woke society, if somebody said that to you, or you heard that, you would just keep your mouth shut. In a woke society, what happens is, when they say that, God says, let me show you. I'm going to give you an experience that sets that straight. as to why you're confused of why they would say that. And when they have that experience that says, this is why, and especially if they have that experience and they've never experienced anything like it before, the realization of that hits them at the same time. And I know a lot of you don't believe in any of that kind of stuff, but it does. When that realization of that part of life hits you, and it hits you hard, you go get a gun and blow your head out. And I'm not saying everybody does, but that is a should I say common? I don't want to say common. That is a possible reaction to that experience. When you get into those things really gradually, it's not quite as scary, but it is the difference of being woke up and gradually opening your eyes, or gradually being awake and just laying in the bed and letting whatever happened in your dream state drift away from you until you're no longer thinking about it and you get up and you face the day. It is one of the reasons that we say never wake a sleeping baby. There are many connotations to that saying other than what we're talking about with a baby. It is kind of a long-standing tradition that someone that is sleeping, that is enjoying life, somebody that is really in the heyday of life, and they are having so much fun, and they are really enjoying themselves. Don't wake them up. Don't wake them up. They're enjoying it. If you can keep a person asleep and loving life and dreaming and fulfilling their best dreams and feeling like life is a miracle every single day that they get up and every single night that they go to bed, and that they can't believe that they get to be part of it, that is a successful community. That is a successful nation. That is a successful world. And that's why we say, don't wake a sleepy baby. And you got woke up a little bit. There's a lot of you that got woke up. And we tried to keep you loving life and knowing the miracle of life and understanding how absolutely impossible it is to have life in a universe such as this. You look at the universe as being awe-inspiring, and it is a cataclysmic place out there. There are explosions, there are things running into other things. It is a universe of drastic changes and drastic things, and as mellow as you can keep it, and not as shook, or what, not as crazy as the things that you'll see from the Webb telescope. When you see those things happening, when you observe the explosions and the cauldron like surface of the sun, and you see those things, you start to realize that this is about as gentle planet as you're gonna find, and as nurturing of a planet that you're gonna find. And that is one of the reasons that we say that God is for us, that God is a nurturing God, that God is a God that does everything for our benefit, because there's no other place, and we've looked at billions of stars. We've we've watched a lot. And on our planet, we are absolutely blessed beyond measure. And when you start to get woke up, I want you to remember how absolutely blessed you are. Christians talk about look to the heavens. And the reason that we say that is there's no other place up there like this. There really isn't. God put us in a place that He nurtures us every day by providing the air that we breathe, which is absolutely miraculous. That we have that life can exist and inhale and exhale a thing that actually feeds us. That the particles in the air are designed specifically to keep you alive. The ground is made specifically to grow your food. It's absolutely miraculous. Miraculous. So if you got woke up and you need a little bit of a thing to calm yourself down, I want you to remember that. There's no other planet out there like it. There's no other sun that stays its distance in such a way that it provides for us, even though it is the most explosive environment that you could possibly imagine. The hottest, the craziest environment, and it stays exactly in a way where it doesn't hurt us, but nurtures us. That's incredible. It's incredible. It's beyond belief. I know if you've lived on Earth all your time, which you have, you don't really realize how incredible it is. I want you to study the universe for a little bit. When you start to feel like this is hell, I want you to study what it's like up there. That's what I want you to do. Study what it's like up there. There's no other place up there that's made specifically for you and you made specifically for it. I want you to relax. If you are woke up, relax. Stop saying hello and start saying hi. And I'll tell you why. There's a dot on top of an I. You may have a life that starts with you standing up, with you suspended in your mother's belly. You are literally, you did not come from earth. You didn't come from the dirt. You came from a walking mother, suspended about 3 feet off the ground in a womb that never has touched dirt ever. Ever. And when you come out of that womb and you touch earth for the first time, I want you to remember that there is a God that is bigger than you could possibly imagine. But all those eggs in your belly, all those sperm in your testicles, they are suspended like that little dot on top of the eye. A miracle that by any standards couldn't just sit there floating. Couldn't. But it does. Just like the earth is suspended in space. Couldn't happen. A mass that big would have to sink to the ground. But it's suspended. It just floats there. Peace be to you. I love you.